The theatrical film adaptation of the musical Wicked is about to make a lot of money at box offices all across North America. How much? Well, we think we know. And we're here to tell you that a terrible marketing campaign means that Wicked might not make nearly as much as it should have. You won't believe how they've screwed up, and we'll show you with video right now.
We can't help it. We're trying our best.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel. We are so happy to have you here with us. We are talking about Wicked making some money. The unfortunate part about everything is, well, they're not going to make as much money as they could have made had they only done things the right way. Folks, you can help us out in the right way. Click that like button and we'll tell you how much we think Wicked is getting ready to make. Gladiator 2 also featured in this video. And yes, a lot of crying. A lot of crying. All right, folks, starting off with Steph Annie at My Nerdy Home on X. She's part of the Geeks and Gamers crew. She says, I can't wait for Wicked, quote, Oz is a very queer place, unquote. And that's because that's what the stars of Wicked have been declaring, in obvious contradiction, I think, to what the pulse of America currently is. Why would you get out there and say this? Everybody who identifies with that sort of thinking already is going to see Wicked, probably.
I think that maybe Firo likes the attention from both. I don't know.
Of course. Well, Oz is a very queer place and has always been.
Yeah.
Even from the L. Frank Baum books, it's always been queer.
Yeah. I think so, for sure.
Gay.
Hey, yes. We'll take it.
Yes.
You're not gaining anyone. You're only losing people by claiming that the original Wizard of Oz book is of this particular nature. But that's just one huge mistake they've been making. Folks, whoever told them that they should go out there and cry nonstop, this has been the worst marketing advice I have ever seen. Everywhere, Cynthia Erivo, who is insufferable, and Ariana Grande, who needs to eat, everywhere they go, they're crying. And by the way, I'm not saying that about Ariana Grande to make fun of her or to be mean. I legitimately think that she needs to consume calories. Like, she's not looking healthy anymore. And I'm legitimately worried, and I think lots of people are. This TMZ article says Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande can't help crying over Wicked. Still sorry, though. It says Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are feeling popular ahead of the release of Wicked. Admitted they've cried through a number of press interviews for the musical movie. The actresses who play Elphaba and Glinda, respectively, in the new flick stopped by today to discuss their special bond, revealing it's part of the reason they've shed a tear or two while promoting the movie. Folks, it's been unseemly the way they've been acting. And I'm not here to be against sharing emotions. I'm here to be against sharing manufactured emotions. I think that if you are caught being synthetically sad or not completely legitimately wistful, then perhaps people are wishful, you'd stop it. So the issue is, if they're out there crying and people can tell that it's not real, then nobody's happy. Well, here's the deal. Go back in time and look and see, how often did Ariana Grande cry in any other press interview ever? Go check it and see. How often did Cynthia Erivo, how often has she cried in interviews in the past? And if the answer is, well, never or seldom, and suddenly they're crying all the time, then either this is part of some marketing gimmick or there's something wrong. I want to show it to you. You don't have to trust me. You can believe me by seeing it with your own eyes. Here is the video, folks. We'll play it for you right now. Notice we'll have to remove some of the audio because it features some copyrighted stuff and we're really careful. But here you go. Here they are sobbing away, trying to get you to go to the theaters. Whoever told them this was a good idea, I can't even imagine. Here we go.
Yeah.
Whoa! We just had our own private cry in the parking lot. Whoa, stop.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Don't do it.
Ooh, don't look at me like that.
I just
There's so much. I'm going to take such good care of her. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we're going to do it again. No.
It's really emotional.
We can't help it. We're trying our best.
I've gotten a little bit of her softness, and she's got
Her strength.
a little bit of my strength.
Yeah.
truthfully, we're a bunch of crybabies over here.
When I cried last night, I love you both.
And here's the deal, folks. If they were crying in a single interview, so be it. If they were crying in 2 interviews, so be it. But these are people who don't normally cry, who suddenly can't stop crying in every single interview. Well, again, that's either bizarre or, more plausibly, it's a marketing gimmick. And whoever said people will go see this movie if you cry all the time, like, that is a terrible recipe for trying to get audiences to go see your movie, especially because those who probably have a proclivity for sharing emotions more were already part of the demographic going to see your film in the first place. It's the people who are more stoic, the more socially conservative people out there that this movie needs to attract, because you already have the other side. You don't double down on that. You try to draw in the extra crowd that you would not otherwise have in marketing. Else, why are you marketing? That's not all. That's not the only reason that this movie Wicked has utterly flopped, not at the box office, but in marketing. Take a look at this. That Park Place has this one. Mattel apologizes for Wicked movie doll misprint that directed children to a graphic website. And yeah, folks, we've covered this in the past. The Toys for Wicked had a website on there that takes you somewhere you should not go, especially if you're a child. We don't need to go too graphically into what it is, but they put the wrong thing on there. How bad is it? Well, it's so bad that Mattel had to recall all the toys. Imagine if Disney had to bring back in all of the Moana toys right in time for Christmas. All of them have to be returned. Like, your window to do that over again is not there. You don't get to be like, oh, well, we'll bring out those Wicked dolls when we redo the boxes. We'll have them out in February. No. These were Christmas toys. So now the big box retailers are mad at you. So you have all the crying that's going on. You have the toy issue happening right now. You have them declaring that the film and the original book that, from Oz from, 100 plus years ago, that it's all queer, whatever that means. Like, they're doing everything in their power to diminish the scope and scale that this film can manage. Everything. It's so bizarre to me. And I want to show you this. We've got a good idea of how the movie's going to perform. And I'm going to tell you the opportunity cost that they have done to themselves. Take a look at this. This is Google Trends. It's showing us the searches for the past 90 days. So all internet searches going through Google past 90 days, it's a great way to figure out how popular anything is. Take a look. So we're going to go to the 17th. That's because that's the last full day of aggregated information, aggregated data. And we can see that Wicked was outperforming Gladiator 2 100% to 68%. Okay? All right. Now, we can make a pretty darn good estimation on how much Wicked will make using that information. I'll show you how. Let's go to Forbes for a minute. This is Connor Murray. Can Wicked and Gladiator 2 revive lackluster fall box office, both open this weekend? It says, box office grosses dwindled this fall after a successful summer because of a series of flops, though 2 star-fueled films, Wicked and Gladiator 2, are expected to reverse the downward spiral and inject life into theaters just before the crucial Thanksgiving holiday. And here's where we get the information we need to make a pretty good guesstimation. Wicked and Gladiator 2 will premiere in U.S. theaters Friday, though both will have preview screenings Thursday night, and Wicked early access screenings will take place Wednesday. Deadline projected Wicked could, that's a very important word, could clear $100 million in its opening weekend. Well, I could dunk on a 12-foot goal, given if the basketball court was on the moon, no problem. There's a lot of wiggle in could, isn't there? Up from a projection 3 weeks ago that it would gross between 80 and 85 million in its first 3 days. Okay, so 3 weeks ago, they had it at 80 to 85 million. All right, hang on to that number. You're going to need it. Deadline projected a $65 million opening weekend for Gladiator 2. Now, remember, we're not saying could here, so we've switched apples to oranges, no more coulds. Deadline projected a $65 million opening weekend for Gladiator 2, while Variety estimated it would earn between $55 million and $65 million. Okay. And we know, by the way, that Gladiator 2 had a very good opening internationally, but we don't think that will hold because reviews for Gladiator 2 have been absolutely terrible. You hate to see it, right? It's kind of like a Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight on Netflix. Lots of fanfare, big excitement, major letdown. I bet not many people are going to be watching the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight this next weekend. And I bet not many people internationally are going to be watching Gladiator 2 in that second weekend for the same reason. Big fail, dumpster fire. All right, but we can figure out the Wicked numbers pretty easily. Watch this. So if Deadline has it right and Gladiator is going to make $65 million, let's go back to our projections here. Internet searches are a pretty good indicator of how much interest anything has. Gladiator was pulling 68% of Wicked's total interest levels. They both come out essentially on the same day. So if we say a 32% increase on that $65 million projection, what do we get? Well, we get a prediction from our model that Wicked will make somewhere between $85 and $90 million. All right, so that takes us right back to what Deadline had projected previously, which was 80 to 85 million. We're at 85 to 90. Could it clear 100? Sure. It can do lots of things, especially with that extra Wednesday. But folks, I'm here to tell you, the big lesson here, the big takeaway, I think, is if they had just stopped with whatever this terrible marketing had been, this could have easily been a $130 million opening. And I truly believe that. Wicked is one of the most popular Broadway musicals ever. But they have been aiming for the fans who were already coming to the movie anyway. And they have alienated those who would have come had they had not been declaring these kinds of things or sobbing everywhere, which, by the way, is uncomfortable to watch. Nobody wants to watch them sobbing. It's weird, folks. Weird. We know. Now, this is not going to be anywhere close to the same level of fail that we've seen with Zegler and Snow White and Disney. None of that. But I think there is a significant cost. I think that the marketing for this domestically has hurt them to the tune of something like $40 million for the opening weekend. And $40 million is not nothing. It's something. It's a big something. What really matters is that Wicked is a two-parter, even though they're not clearly delineating that. Delineating? I don't know. Delineate-ing. There you go. There's my Englishing for the day. They're not clearly designating. Well, that's an easier one. They're not clear, but less impressive. They're not clearly designating that Wicked is a two-parter. The average person doesn't know that. And so they're going to go in, they're going to get to the intermission. And then the next thing that they're not clearly demonstrating, we'll continue that trend, demonstrating to the audience is that the second one that's going to come out, whenever it does come out, it's going to have original music and changes and different. It'll be different than the musical. And it might go back to a more extreme piece of source material. Well, if that's the case, then people are going to feel hoodwinked. So don't do that. But they might already be in too deep. Ultimately, Wicked is going to do fine, but it could have been so much more than fine. It could have been divine in terms of its box office numbers. And it's a real shame that it won't be. It's a real shame that they damaged it through doing the things that have cost them in the culture war so many times before, but they seem not to have learned. And that means audiences will show them the door to some degree beyond what needed to happen. They could have been making big bucks. There's no reason that Wicked should not be a $1 billion film. Billion with a B. I don't know where it will land ultimately, but I know it's probably something like 20 to 30% decrease in where it should have been. And that's just how it's going to be so long as they use these zany, wacky, weird Hollywood strategies that the rest of America, the heartland, does not appreciate. Folks, that is the video for today. Hope you stay ahead of the culture curve using the information we've provided to you. Let us know down in the comments. Are you going to go see Wicked? I'm going to go see it. I got to. We got to review it, right? Gladiator 2, not so sure. I'm going to go watch that. I think we're hearing terrible things about it from people who have seen it, people that we trust about it. And I just don't really see a reason to subject myself to having to watch a film that's terrible. I mean, if there's not that much interest in it, then why go subject yourself to something bad? I don't see why. But maybe we will. Maybe we'll have to do Gladiator 2. It has Denzel Washington in it. Really sad that Denzel apparently doesn't do so well either. It really sucks. Denzel Washington is one of my favorite actors of all time. Folks, that's the video for today. We hope you enjoyed it. If you would, be so kind, share this out on your favorite social media networks and click that notification bell. You'll stick it to those pesky algorithms when you do. Until the next time we have the joy of being joined with you, remember, folks, keep learning, keep growing, stay popular. Don't fall for unadulterated loathing. and keep having fun.
Stick this up here.
This is one big cultural appropriation, don't you think?
What do you mean? We're just celebrating the Year of Medmut.
There's no thing called the Year of Medmut. There's a dog, but not a Medmut. Where do you get this from? Were you reading Time magazine again?
No, but I just figured that since he's so generous, he deserved to be like Star of the Year. The goat, if you will.
No.
You all know goats are hot.
You're just trying to suck up to him to get a membership on our channel, aren't you?
Maybe.
That's so disgusting. I'd say you should be ashamed of yourself, but trying to butter up to him like that... Then again, it is you.
Look, man, butter worked on Jonas.
Putting butter on a second-degree burn isn't a solution. Besides that, there's like another restraining order against you going near anyone in the kitchen. But you know what there isn't a court order for? Subscribing to WDW Pro and bookmarking thatparkplace.com, where John Trent is editor-in-chief, so you can keep ahead of the culture curve and get accurate information, which will also keep you from getting burned by the mainstream media.
So you are saying I did a sick burn?
You're an idiot. Now clean all this up.
Yeah, I'm not cleaning this up.